MMA, MMA, MMA. Everyone's MMA. I'm getting this show, guys. I am getting this UFC Vegas 29 Korean Zombie versus Dan Ige preview show. Start off with everyone's favorite chance, MMA. Hey guys, this is the voice of Alexander K. Lee coming into your homes right now for this preview show, MMA Fighting's UFC Vegas 29 preview show. I'm very lucky to be joined today by the always excellent José Youngs.
What's up, guys? It's good to be not in the scorching heat for a preview show.
It's great to have you here, Jose, and also, of course, we are being overseen by the best producer in the business, the man in the truck, Casey Leydon.
Happy birthday, AK! Woo!
Okay, happy birthday!
Woo! Happy birthday!
As usual, it is not my birthday.
Edible arrangement.
It is
Everything
no,
good?
it is not my birthday. It's never my birthday.
You can eat it. Those aren't real flowers. Those are cantaloupes. You can eat those.
Thank you, everyone watching. The sentiments are always appreciated. It is not my birthday, and it never will be. Guys, we're here to talk UFC Vegas 29. I feel like this card has flown a little bit under the radar.
For good reason.
I think we had a we had a little more drama.
Not an accident.
Well, now hold on. Now we had a little more drama last week. I think last week's UFC 263 pay-per-view was a little more loaded, a little more, some more dramatic repercussions from the events of that card. But every card is created equal, I think, as we always say here. It's the cards nobody's talking about that are always the best, of course, 100% guarantee. Every time they always deliver. And look, we've got ourselves a nice main event. So let's talk about it right away. How can you not be excited when Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie, is headlining a show and against a man who has kind of found a little bit of found his spark on the feet, has found his KO power on the feet, Dan Ige. So let's just go. Let's be honest about this right off the bat. Let's go right out of 10. José Youngs, what is your excitement specifically for this main event? Let's say you only had to watch this one fight and not the whole 7-hour card as we are going to have to do. Let's say you only had to watch this one fight. Out of 10, your excitement level.
10. I'm always going to say 10 when the Korean Zombie fights.
Yes.
But I'm also going to preface this by saying I'm probably the biggest Korean Zombie fan you'll find. So that's also my pick. So I'm just going to preface this. So don't take my pick. Don't use my pick to place any bets or as any expert advice. Because when the Korean Zombie fights, I normally pick him because I'll die on this hill. I think he's one of the top 5 most exciting fighters in the history of mixed martial arts, maybe top 2. I'd even throw Justin Gaethje in there as well. But the Korean Zombie, anytime he fights, I'll see him fight anyone, whether it's a door, whether it's a wet sponge, whether it's a wall, a window, anything. I'll watch this man fight anything, and I will be thoroughly sports entertained. So you ask me my excitement level, 10 out of 10 across the board.
10 out of 10. Casey, that's hard to top. Do you agree? I mean, it is like I said, it is the Korean Zombie. It is Dan Ige, two top 10 guys. Casey, what's your excitement level out of 10?
I'm so excited for the Korean Zombie. I even broke out my Sengoku t-shirt. Korean Zombie X Sengoku.
Okay.
So that's how excited I am.
Of course. We all knew that.
So it's like, if there was 1 through 10, 10 being the highest, this is Spinal Tap. I'm at an 11.
Wow. Oh.
Not really. It's like, I don't know. It's like a 4 or 5. I mean, Korean Zombie is can't miss TV. But if you have plans this Saturday, go for it. But
don't tell people that. Well, there's another event going on.
This happens consistently. This is like one of the most consistent things. There's a big pay-per-view, and there's always just that following fight night. It's just no matter how good the card is in reality or whatever. It's just there's always kind of a I think everyone just needs a week off, but. These are fun fights. Korean Zombie's fighting Danny. It's a good matchup. It's a fun fight. Two top 45ers. Unfortunately, there's no real with the tough thing. That thing. The featherweight's all tied up and everything. And this isn't a really number one contender fight. It's just kind of just two guys who are really good at punching each other. fighting each other. So it's good free TV for the weekend, and Screen Zombie.
Yeah. Look, as we always say, free is a very good price. But it's funny, Casey, you mentioned, you know what? I'm on the Prince of Positivity. Mm-hmm. So I want to keep that talk this way before we, maybe take a more critical look at this card. You mentioned it's hard to follow up a show like 263. I'm still very high off the Brandon Moreno championship win. I just saw the Thrill and Agony clip that just went out today from the UFC, and I was reliving the moment all over again.
Okay, did you cry? What did you guys? Did you cry? Did you cry when Moreno won? Did you get a little?
Man, it was close.
I was getting.
It was
there.
close.
I was getting the feels.
When it happened, it got dusty. It got real dusty in the AK Lee household. Let me tell you something. Everything after the speech, after just the whole, oh my gosh, just thinking about, again, anyone who's interviewed him, thinking about his story. But again, I'm sure you guys have recapped that stuff enough last week. What do you guys think would be, take a good look at this card now, the most feel-good moment that we could get from this card? Okay, I'll go first since I posed the question. I'll give you guys some time to think.
I know my answer.
Oh, okay. Jose's always prepared. You're always prepared. Jose, please go ahead. What do you think?
In terms of this card, what would be the best feel-good moment? Probably Alexei Oleinik getting the big 6-0. If Alexei Oleinik wins, that's 60 career wins in fist fighting. So yeah, anyone that makes we see when you reach 30, it's a big deal, and then every now and then you get someone with 40, and then 50 is wow, that's nuts. But if Alexei Oleinik wins, that's 60 professional victories in professional fist fighting. Yeah, we know about. The first fight he ever had, let me rephrase. The first 3 fights of his career all came on November 30th, 1996. He won 3 fights in one day in 1996. I was 5 years old when he won his first 3 fights, and he's still doing it in the year of our Lord 2021. I think he's the first fighter to win in UFC or the professional fighter to have a win in the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and then when he won on that Conor McGregor Cowboy card, which was 2020, he won in the 2020s. So yeah, the man started 3-0 all in one night in the Ukraine, and then he won a bunch in Russia, went back to Ukraine a bunch, has a bunch of wins in Poland. He's even a Bellator cast-off. He's had some fights in Bellator and M1, and then he made his UFC debut with 52 professional wins. And if he wins on Saturday night, that is the big 6-0. So, yeah, Alexei Oleinik, I think he weighed 220 pounds with a shirt and jeans on. So, yeah, if he wins, that's the feel-good moment.
See, and we've had some people maybe on the show asking, why is this fight the co-main event? I think that's a pretty good reason. And look, and not to take anything away from some Sergey Spivak, it certainly wouldn't be as feel-good a moment if he wins, but he's a heavyweight they're kind of invested in. He's a heavyweight. Moment. No, he's a heavyweight that they're invested in. I mean, there's there's some value to be had there. Casey, do you agree? Do you think Oleinik is the storyline to watch?
It's not 60 wins. I mean, because if not in the UFC, it doesn't count.
As he wears a Sengoku shirt.
Yeah. Korean Zombie, no one cared about him when he was fighting these other regional promotions in Japan. But,
WEC, what is that?
Oleinik getting 60 wins. Him being just kind of the one of the more unlikely stars, in the UFC heavyweight division right now. I think it's just because he doesn't fit the mold. He doesn't fit. I'm a mean looking guy. I look the part and everything. He's just kind of just old. I don't know. I think he's 95. I don't know how old. I think he's always been old. I can't imagine him being a baby. Oleinik, I can't imagine.
He's 43. He's 43.
Okay.
He's the oldest. He's the oldest active heavyweight in the UFC right now.
He's 43. You know who is also 43? I am 43.
Okay.
How are we the same species? I don't get it. I just don't understand. That's all. So yeah, obviously Oleinik. But as UFC, are they really pushing that? Are they putting social?
No.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's I don't see them I don't think they're going to celebrate. They might mention it, but
I don't even think because I was doing the weigh-ins earlier today. I think they forgot to post the highlight of his weigh-in. They normally they do a clip for the 2 main eventers, the 2 co-main eventers. They did Ige, they did Zombie, they did Spivak. I don't think Oleinik ever came up. So maybe there is a little bit of kind of forgetting what they have here with the boa constrictor. I think you guys might be onto something there. Yeah, it really that clip never came up, which I found strange because there was plenty of time to do it.
I mean,
but yes, no.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Go ahead,
I was no other feel good moments. Obviously Matt Brown's on his card. This possibly could be his last fight. I mean, if he takes a bad loss, I mean, I'm sure if he wins, wins dominant fashion, we'll see him again. But if he takes a bad loss against Diego Lima, who knows? But sorry, I'm just thinking like feel good moments. But so Matt Brown, not retiring would be feel good, I guess. I don't know.
There's a lot of cool, like potentially cool little moments too. Like I think Davey Grant, if let's say somehow he knocked out Marlon Vera, he's been on this weird, again, he's a grappling guy who's been on this kind of weird KO streak, which I think would be amazing. As much as I enjoy watching Cheeto fight, I'm a fan of his for sure. But I mean, the other side of it's pretty compelling. And then you have a few fighters on this card who haven't fought since like 2019 or 2018. So them coming back and getting a win after such a long time off would be interesting. Bruno Silva on the main card was an Ultimate Fighter Brazil 3 cast-off. So he kind of had a brush with the UFC, but never really came close to making it. And now he also hasn't fought in a long time. And, so there could be a story there. But we have some good sleeper fights too. We'll get to those. Before we get too far away, guys, from the main event, Casey, you mentioned like this could be Matt Brown's last fight. If Zombie loses, and let's say he gets knocked out or something first, second round, he's talked about retirement before. I know he's walked it back, but after this fight, do you think he seriously thinks about it again? Do you think that this could be Korean Zombie's last fight? Has a lot of injury problems too. Jose, what do you think?
If the Zombie loses, I think it would depend on how he loses. Again, like I don't want to fantasy match make anyone before the fight happens, but if he loses like violently or gets absolutely dominated for 5 rounds by Dan Ige, because Dan Ige, he had that big knockout win in his last fight over Gavin Tucker, but that was a last minute change of opponents. But if he goes out there and loses like when Ige beat Edson Barboza, a lot of people, including I think the three of us, think Edson Barboza won that fight. Dan Ige fair and square got the decision that night. If he loses one of those, I imagine he wants to come back. There's still a lot of fun fights for him to have, especially with a lot of these featherweight fights have to happen first. Like, will the Yair Max Holloway fight get rebooked? Will the loser of Brian Ortega versus Alex Volkanovski be 100% after that? Will they want time off? Who's going to fight Giga Chikadze? Josh Emmett has to return from his crazy knee injuries. So I think we have to see how the lay of the land plays out before we can start thinking retirement for the Zombie.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I think some of the retirement talk was from the frustration of having to wait. A lot of the time, he just kind of missed his career again from injuries. So I think when any fighter has that much time off, they're always thinking like, again, they don't have an opponent to think of. Where else is their mind going to wander, right? So that makes a lot of sense. Casey, what do you think? Do you think let's say he loses? I mean, it pushes him pretty far back in a deep 145-pound division. I mean, does this get him thinking, again, of walking away if he can't get, if one of these opponents doesn't emerge for him in the next 3 or 4 months?
No, I don't think so. I mean, unless the business side just doesn't make sense for him. Like he's just, whatever, how the money, the currency rate, with all the taxes and whatever, fighting in the States and living off that money in Korea, unless it just doesn't make sense financially. I think competitively wise, Zombie's fine. I think obviously the Brian Ortega fights sucked for him because if he would have won that fight, most likely he would have got a title shot after that. So losing that fight, that just sucks. But I think now he just sees himself as a contender. He spent his whole camp. I think he spent his whole camp in the States this time, which is a big difference. Mm-hmm. He's down near Jose at Fight. Is it Fight Ready?
Yeah,
Fight Ready, and coaching with his new head coach Eddie Cha. So. This could be
Zombie's been with Eddie Cha.
Well, but he spent his whole camp here. That's isn't that?
Yeah.
I think it's a little different. And like he's kind of living in Arizona right now. So I think it's a little different for him this time. So I'm not expecting any dramatic career changes if he takes a loss, as far as him just leaving the sport.
Yeah,
That would suck
I'm
if
with
he
you
does.
guys.
That would suck.
No, I'm with you guys. I definitely can't imagine him doing the leave the gloves in the cage. I don't know. Maybe the week after we hear something from him, but yeah, I don't think. No, I think he's got a lot of fights left. I think if it's a really solid competitive 5-rounder, I think definitely he's like, yeah, no, I got to.
Oh, sorry, but I want to piggyback
Winner
real quick
list.
on what Jose
Mhm.
said.
Yeah, please.
But Korean Zombie, absolutely, he's in that Justin Gaethje type level of just second for second when he's in the cage fighting. It is just always going to be excitement, and that's just the type of fighter he is. And he's so there's like guys like him and Gaethje are such active, aggressive fighters that it doesn't matter what type of fighter on the other side of them are, they're going to make it exciting. So just for that reason alone. Korean Zombie. Didn't someone say this is like his 9th main event in a row or something? Like something crazy.
I think so.
Yeah, something wild like that. So the UFC obviously loves Korean Zombie, despite no trash talk. No, I got to be really mean on social media. He's just a guy that delivers in the cage. He's always exciting and fans get behind. So that's just I just want to talk about that a little bit. How just an incredible, exciting fighter Zombie is.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the first times he's teased retirement, which, as we know in MMA, I mean, that's you tease retirement. Most fighters tease retirement many times before it actually happened. We mentioned Matt Brown. Matt Brown has been teasing a permanent retirement for like 4 years, I think. So this is just the beginning of, I think, of the Zombie retirement. Again, who knows? We don't know him well. Maybe he's more serious. He's put more thought into it. Maybe he's more serious about this sort of thing when he brings it up. But if we're just judging by MMA trends.
About the retirement thing, I'll just say this real quick too. Sorry. I think more Zombie's just a guy that he'll say it if you ask him. I guarantee you of the 12 fighters on this of the 12 fights on this card, after they lose, 12 of those fighters, when they go to the hotel room, they will be contemplating retirement. It just sucks to lose. It's just guys like Zombie just kind of talk about it out loud. So I really won't put that much weight into it and that much too much of a storyline, because I know we're kind of stretching our storylines for this main event, other than being two really good dudes fighting.
What do you mean?
We would never.
How dare you? How dare you? No, I think there's a lot of organic storylines that are coming out of this. I think we've covered it mostly. I'm gonna move on. Let's just get our predictions. I know, Jose, you said people don't use your pick for gambling. You are a diehard Zombie fan, but if you think Zombie's going to win, how do you think it happens? What's his path to victory here?
It's hard to say. I mean, the dude knocked out Frankie Edgar. The dude's knocked out like the last time he was coming off that long layoff of Dennis Bermudez. But then I think we're gonna, like Casey said before, we're gonna know what kind of fight this is like right away, because Zombie, when he got, what was it, the second round when he got that spinning back elbow against Brian Ortega, he doesn't remember anything after that fight, and he himself has said, I view that fight as a knockout loss rather than a 5-round decision loss. I don't think Dan Ige can do the same thing he did against Gavin Tucker to Korean Zombie. I just think Korean Zombie is a better striker. I assume he's a better grappler. So I'm going to say round 2 stoppage, but I don't know how. I don't know if it's going to be a TKO or submission, but I'm going to say round 2 stoppage.
Okay. Casey, what do you think? Who's winning? How do they do it?
Competitive first 2 rounds, Zombie will pull away, and he'll get a 4th round TKO stoppage.
I liked the dramatic pause there. You really had a moment there. I hope that plays on the podcast as well. I'm going. You stole my answer. I'm going. Competitive fight to the first 3 rounds. But just to not be the same, I'll say 5th round. I say dramatic fifth round stoppage for Zombie in a fight that up to that point he's like kind of winning. It's kind of like, he's kind of headed to a decision win anyway, and then he puts a capper on it. Again, not to take anything away from Danny Gay, but it's one of those things. I need to see him prove it against a top 5 guy before I can really start like buying into it. But hey, he's shown a lot of improvements in the last couple of years. So, Danny Gay, we're not counting you out. We're just a bunch of big zombie heads here. I want to talk. Casey, go ahead.
Real quick on Tapology. I thought I'm leaning. I think we all leaning towards Zombie, not just because we enjoy watching him fight, but I just think he's a better fighter. But Tapology wise, only 59% are picking Zombie. So it's not exactly a pick 'em 50-50, but 60-40 isn't that's a relatively close main event. So I was kind of surprised by that.
And the odds are just about even. I think it's like minus 110, minus 120 for both. Yeah, it's close. Look, people got a lot of faith in
lines are close.
That Gavin Tucker. I think that Gavin Tucker knockout did a lot to, again, kind of get him back after that loss to Cater. So yeah, people see him. People see him as a potential top 5 guy, which he will be come Tuesday when the rankings are updated, probably if he beats the Korean Zombie. Now, I want to tell people we are going to get to more questions probably tomorrow on Saturday's pre-fight Q&A, so tune into that. We usually go on about 45 or 30 minutes before the show, which will be what time? Prelims start at 4 o'clock Eastern time.
So 1 o'clock, 30 minutes before the first fight, whatever.
Before the first fight.
Well, so probably 12:30 Pacific time.
12:30 Pacific time. Okay, 3:30 Eastern time. But I did want to say, I saw one question that caught my eye, Casey. It was from Nick Duruff. He wants to know who on this card is most likely to get kicked in the nuts first.
Oh, Matt Brown.
Whoa, wow. How did you wait? Why?
Because Lehman throws a lot of kicks. It's just and Matt Brown is like, I don't know. Matt Brown gets, and like people like we've seen it against Eric Silva, and we've seen it against a few other fighters. Like Matt Brown gets, the body shots can affect Matt Brown very early in a fight. I feel like Lehman knows that, so he's going to go to the body early. So anytime you take someone who the blueprint is attack the body early and you put him against someone that kicks a lot, I feel like there's going to be a lot of feet and shins and legs going at that area of the anatomy. So I'm going to say Matt Brown.
Oh, I hope not. I'm going for maximum humor. Well, humor is for us. Tragic for this poor young man. I think Bruno Silva, after waiting like 6 or 7 years to finally make his UFC debut, either accidentally lands a low blow or is the victim of a low blow, and we get a no contest.
Because he gets really excited and just
I don't know.
A low blow right away.
I was really looking for like the middleweight fight. I was like, is there a middleweight fight on this card? And that's it. It's the one middleweight fight. It's got a newcomer who, again, I feel like something weird is going to happen to him. So I think we're going to have a no contest due to a low blow. Casey, you expecting any significant low blow action on Saturday?
I'm sure something involving groin shots and Ricky Glenn. I don't know. I'm going Ricky Glenn.
No, not the newly christened Ricky Glenn. Another guy who's been waiting a long time to make his comeback to the UFC. Oh, that would be so horrible.
Yeah, Ricky Glenn's going to get one. Watch out, Ricky.
Something's going to happen with one of these guys who hasn't fought in like 600, 700 days. I just know it, and I know it's a horrible thing to say. Let's back to positive things. Let's move on to.
I didn't look at this card thinking, hey, who's going to get kicked in the balls first? But since you asked, I mean, if I have to name someone, I mean, I'm not hoping, but I'm just saying if we have to pick someone.
I see people saying Chaos Williams will eat a nut shot.
That was my second try. I can see that. I don't know why.
I mean, his name is just asking for it. I'm just, Chaos by name, Chaos by nature. Someone says Bruno will win via eye poke DQ. So Jeremiah K coming in with both random suggestions. Let's back to the positive. Now, Casey, I know you have I'm teeing this one up for you.
Okay.
This is, we like to talk about our sleeper fights. So this is my Casey. What do you think is the sleeper fight of the card / the fight that could have been on the main card?
Oh, the fight that should be the co-main event. Should be Werner Jandiroba versus Kanako Murata. Just two awesome grapplers. Kind of coming to their own. Actually, I hate this fight. I think they're fighting way too early in their UFC careers, and for such two promising strawweights to be fighting so early, it's like at least have a feature on the card. This is buried on the prelims. It's a mid-card prelim. Like those fights are completely forgotten. So that just sucks. But I'm super excited for Murata. I love Jandiroba. Two Invicta veterans. I think did Murata win the Invicta belt, or did she leave?
Yes. Two former champions.
Yeah.
Both former strawweight champions.
Two former strawweight Invicta
the only,
champions.
As far as I know, Murata's only loss is to Rin Nakai. So that should tell you something.
Yeah, and Rin Nakai is gigantic compared to Murata.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited. I'm hope, and I think if you listen to Between the Links, I think Jed said it great. This is going to be just an incredible 15 minutes of grappling, or they're just going to nullify each other and they're just going to throw haymakers for 15 minutes. I love it. So that's the fight I'm super excited for.
Yeah, it really feels like it could have gotten one of these main card spots. With respect to some of the fighters who aren't in the top 3 slots, I'm really wondering why they didn't.
It's just so low on the card too. It's like, geez, man. All right.
It's not even the featured. It's not even the featured prelim.
I know.
It's not even the feature. that they had to give that to Alexa Kamer and the returning Nico Negumerianu. I needed John Anik on this one. And again, no disrespect to Nico, good for him for getting his foot back in the UFC, but an interesting choice. Maybe they see big things for Kamer and want to see him bounce back. I'm not sure. Jose, what do you got? Give us.
Has Nico? Did he leave the UFC, or is he just returning from injury?
So he was briefly booked for a fight with the ACA, and I don't know if that didn't happen because of COVID, and I don't know, and maybe he was just released so he could go do other stuff. I'm actually not entirely sure, but I do think he was released because he was booked to fight for another promotion. But regardless, no, there was no fight in between his last fight in March 2019 and now, so pretty much unabbreviated run, I guess.
I would say
sleepers. What do you got?
I don't even think it's a sleeper because I think this fight rules, and it would probably be my on the short list for fight of the night on any other fight that the Korean Zombie's not there. But the rematch between Marlon Vera and Davey Grant rules. I think what was the last time they fought was 5 years ago. I think Davey Grant lost to Chris Holdsworth, who is no longer an active UFC competitor because of concussions when he won the Ultimate Fighter. I think a lot of people thought Chris Holdsworth was going to be the real deal before concussions kind of caught up to him. And I think, if I remember correctly, Marlon Vera was Davey Grant's first win after that. And then, of course, both of their careers have gone up and down a lot. Davey Grant had a couple losses, he lost 3 or 4 at one point. I know Marlon had a couple hiccups back-to-back, but then they've both put together these win streaks, and they're both completely different fighters. I don't remember Davey Grant's last fight. I know he's beaten Jonathan Martinez by knockout, but I don't remember.
I think that was it.
That was his last one. So then the one before that was the Martin Day, right? Both of them were on. One was on Abu Dhabi.
Wait, which one? Wait, was that the Herb Dean one? The Herb Dean freakout one?
No. I think that was the Francisco Ronaldo one. Yeah. Martin Day. That was like the one. That was like he just slept Martin Day. So he's had back-to-back performance bonus.
I got that mixed up with Herbert. Yeah, Herbert Ronaldo. Right. Okay.
So 2 high action fighters who know each other quite well from 5 years ago. So yeah, and also that division absolutely rules, as we've said 1,000 times. Cheeto Vera versus Davey Grant is a fight you're not going to want to miss. And if it wasn't for the Korean Zombie being at the top of the card in a 5-round fight against a very durable Dan Ige, this would be my pick for fight of the night, or at least performance bonus.
Yeah, and it still could be. There's some good ones, man. I actually like some of these. Always when we really take a look at these cards for the previews, when we can, and we're not just talking ourselves into it. You just kind of get into a mindset where you really start to see, I think, more of the angles. I mean, I think Casey O'Neill's a really intriguing prospect at 125. I think Lara Procopio is the right matchup for her right now. Parisian Roque Martinez, probably my pick. Parisian came in at 266 pounds this morning. He was the last guy to weigh in. He used the 1 pound allowance for heavyweight. He didn't care about making heavyweight championship weight. He's like, no, I'm coming in last, and I'm making people. He made people wait. I think
his opponent's first name is Rock, right? Roque.
What did I say? Roque.
I don't know, but I'm gonna call him Rock. His name is Rock with a Q.
Yeah, that's the French Canadian in me. Roque. So I love that fight. Obviously, great heavyweight banger. I think Rocket can get his first win. I don't know. Parisian's not that bad. And Chaos Semmelsberger. I mean, that I think has first round knockout written all over it. So there's some good. I mean, there's some legitimately really good, intriguing fights. Oh, we didn't even mention the other. I think probably the third leading candidate for that could steal fight of the night. I think Arosa and Sungwoo Choi could be a lot of fun. So it's really not a bad card. I think. Yeah,
I think the Rosa fight is more of a performance bonus than a fight of the night.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I think Rosa is very fun to watch and he's very fluid out there, but he puts himself into some precarious situations a lot.
Yeah.
His hands are down quite a bit. And Choi has a lot. Well, I don't think he has any submission ones. So if the fight ends, it'll probably be by knockout. So I think that could be more of a performance bonus than a fight of the night.
I'm also excited about,
very loosey-goosey.
I'm also excited about Wellington Turman, just because I love saying his name.
It's a classy name.
It's a classy name, and it's a Brazilian.
It's a super classy
name. The Brazilian name Wellington. I was just like, that's cool. I was like, I like it. I just love it. I just love saying his name. To me, it sounds like a character from Pinky Blinders or something like that. I don't know.
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
Pinky Blinders.
Pinky Blinders.
Pinky Blinders.
It's the best show on television.
He's had some tough fights. So he had Carl Roberson in his debut. That is not an easy fight, and he lost a split. He fought Maluko, Marcus Perez. I don't want to say definitely easier fight
He's
than
lost.
Roberson,
He's only
still a
fought
tough guy.
people ranked. He's only fought people ranked like 25-20.
Yeah, Andrew
Like,
Sanchez is tough.
Yeah.
He's only 24 years old. I remember before he came to the UFC, I know he was one to watch. I know Gui had written about him a little bit. So definitely, we'll see. He's facing one of his countrymen. But there is storylines. There is things to appreciate here. I don't think it's a bad looking card at all. Do we need to talk, guys? We got a little bit extra time. Do we need to talk at all about the boxing match that's happening on Saturday?
Surprise, surprise. As I said this on a previous show, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and missing weight like peanut butter and jelly.
Dude, that was the greatest weight miss ever. 100. Anderson Silva gets 100K for 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Wow.
Let us.
That's great.
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is going to box Anderson Silva. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is not anywhere near the level of his father, who was
also boxing.
Who was also boxing. Who was the greatest Mexican boxer of all time. I think a lot of people thought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. would kind of become the next big thing in the Mexican scene. Obviously, Canelo Alvarez is no one's going to touch him when it comes to the Mexican market. But Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. just loves creating chaos for whatever reason on fight week. He fought in Phoenix. I went to one of his boxing matches in Phoenix, and people are probably confused why that match was in Phoenix and not in Las Vegas. It's because he failed. There was some weird drug testing thing, so Las Vegas wouldn't clear him. So then he fought in Phoenix and still missed weight. So the dude is, I don't know. I don't want to call him a bum or anything because he obviously has a really good. Yeah, he's not a bum, but he's just not. He's not professional, is what I'm going to say. Like, I don't know if
he's had a.
He's semi-professional. Dude, he didn't come in. He didn't come in like at 200 pounds.
He's semi-pro.
No, what I'm saying is, what do we say? What was it on the A side? Was it on the A side when someone makes a mistake the first time? You can give him the benefit of the doubt, but when it's like a few and it's like back to back to back to back to back, I think at some point you gotta just say, all right. I don't know what he can do, because who else can say anything to him besides his dad, who's like the most professional boxer ever. So I think I still favor him to win heavily, but I'm disappointed for sure.
I think the phrase you're looking for is "fool me once, shame on you."
Yes,
fool me 7 or more times, shame on me. Which were probably around that number.
We enjoy.
I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about a professional boxer having some tomfoolery again.
His general,
he's professional in the sense that he gets a paycheck and his LinkedIn page says professional boxer. All I'm saying is
semi-professional.
When you sign, all I'm saying, he did not live up to his side of the contract again, and it's disappointing that Julio, someone with his namesake, doesn't. I don't know, because we've always heard, or at least people that follow the boxing world heard, how he cuts a lot of corners in camp and he doesn't take it as seriously. Maybe he just uses his name to make a lot of money. We've been hearing that forever. I mean, if you watch the Canelo fight, the dude didn't show up at all in that fight. But yes, he was probably going to lose no matter what, but at least show some sort of offense rather than just stand there and get punched in the face a whole bunch. Just disappointing, but I can say I'm not shocked whatsoever, but good on Anderson Silva for making more in fines from his opponent than anyone is in MMA right now.
Yeah.
Yes, this will be an 8-round guys. This is a professional fight, not to get confused with all the wackiness, the wacky exhibition fights we've been seeing. If anything, the co-main with his father fighting, that is an exhibition bout. But Anderson Silva versus Chavez Jr. is a professional bout. Anderson Silva's it's not his boxing debut. He fought in 2005.
You can read the story on MMAfighting.com.
Yes, our own Guillermo Cruz. That story is live right now on MMAfighting.com. If you want to read about the man who spoiled. Oh, sorry. I guess this is his second fight, because that was in 1998, his first fight. Anyway, Anderson Silva's he's done a lot of combat sports, so this is his return to boxing. A very limited boxing past, but this is his return to pro boxing, and that'll be tomorrow night, probably during the middle of the UFC Vegas 29 main card. Is that fair to say?
Probably. I'm gonna have it on at least one of the TVs.
Well, we got.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna miss the at least Chavez Senior fight. That I am super intrigued by that.
Yeah, and this is going down in Guadalajara, Mexico. So they will be very, very. I mean, the crowd's going to be wild. But yes, guys, that will be going down tomorrow night. You can if you go to our website and read any story about this fight, that we have little links in there that you can click on if you want to order, which I highly recommend. Order through our site. And so we've got that going on. We've got Vegas 29. No Fight Circus Volume 3. For anyone who missed that news, the highly anticipated phone booth Lethway fight has been delayed once again. We do not have a new date yet, but there will be no Fight Circus Volume 3 on Saturday night. So you only have to split your attention between two really big combat sports thingamajiggies. But yes, just for a heads up.
I was told the pandemic was over. What is going on?
I mean, it is here. This is over in Thailand.
Someone called Dana White. He's fighting for our freedoms and ending the pandemic.
Oh, goodness.
When will Fight Circus fight for the First Amendment?
I also see, again, guys, I want to say thanks for the questions, but please tune in to the pre-fight Q&A tomorrow. We'll answer more questions then.
Everyone wants to talk about the Rory fight. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
I know, everyone wants, we can talk about it tomorrow. Also, I may have written a robbery review on MMAfighting.com. So if you guys want to see me take a little bit of a deeper dive into that fight, and not just my opinion on it, I have Casey's opinion is in there. Casey quoted as saying this is a Pearson Sanchez level robbery. Jose's score is in there. Jose, I think you had it 30-27.
Yeah, I did.
For McDonald's.
Sure did.
So you guys, I put the media reactions in. It's not just me, guys. You don't care about me. The media reactions are in there. Fighter reactions are in there. PFL stats are in there. Gleison Tebow having a 6 mile/hour advantage in punching speed. So I'm just saying you got to factor all that stuff in. But yes, please read that. MMAfighting.com. Read Gree's story about Anderson Silva's boxing debut. And anything else you guys want to say about Saturday's card?
Have fun. Let's have a silly goose time.
Yes, there we go. I think that caps out. Casey, I think we're ready to go. Again, everyone, we'll see you tomorrow. Pre-fight, post-fight. I'm Alex Kaylee signing off on the.
This is your first day. Wait.
I don't host. Where's Mike Heck? Where is Mike Heck? How come no one is asking where's Mike Heck? That would be my first question.
No fights till we find Mike Heck. Nobody
Game
fights.
Bred fights too. Let's not forget Jason Knight and Crazy Horse.
Felony.
Is that starting? Is that
Horse?
What's up?
Is he felony billing or is it back to Crazy Horse?
I don't know, but he told Jason Knight he would give him AIDS at the weigh-in, so that tells you everything you need to know.
Okay, what a note to go out on.
All right.
Let's enjoy the classy UFC fights, the classy boxing that's going on Saturday. Thank you, everyone. I'm Alexander Kaylee signing off for José Youngs, for EKC Leydon. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is Esther Lynn. Happy birthday, AK.
Thanks, Esther. It's not her birthday.